Hey, Schaefer, you know what?
What's happening, brother?
Man, I didn't go to class all last week.
Really?
Yep. And I'm not even going tonight.
You're not going to go tonight either? What's up with that?
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm getting burnt out. Do you think I'm getting burnt out?
I don't know, man. Let's figure what burnout really is and what we can do about it on the next Open Mat Chronicles.
All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here, and we're coming back at you guys. And as always, we got our man Schaefer in the house. What's up?
What's happening, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. This is a special episode of Open Mat Chronicles. This is our, like, if you ever remember, what was that, the old show with Arnold and all them.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, not Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was like on this new special episode of not Good Times. What the hell was it?
Who's Arnold? That's not
Arnold. He was the buddy for
Arnold Palmer.
You know, he's like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Yeah.
See, I know we're having brain farts already.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is that episode.
I don't think anybody got that reference.
I know.
I didn't even get that reference.
That's crazy.
I know the character, but I still don't have the
Man,
reference.
different strokes.
Different strokes.
Thank you, man. Okay,
Man,
On
aren't
this-
they all dead? I think they all are, right?
Nah, one of them's still alive.
Oh, the older brother's still alive.
Yeah, the older
right?
brother's still alive.
Because the girl died.
Yeah,
She passed.
she died, and then
Well,
Gary
little
Coleman
kid,
died.
Gary Coleman, and then the dad,
Mrs.
obviously.
Garrett, she's dead.
Dude,
the old guy's dead.
Oh,
Everybody's
sad.
dead. That's
remember the
not
guy's
that's
name.
not the specialness of this episode.
No, that's all
everybody.
depressed. Depression episode.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No, listen, no, here it is. So we were sitting there, you know, we're talking back and forth, we're just shooting the you know what, and we were talking about like burning out, man, like especially for hobbyists. I think this is a partially a hobbyist thing too when they go heavy, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're a competitor,
It's a job.
yeah, it's a job. You're about that, right? You're nonstop. But like, if you do have some other things going on in your life, you might be like, man, you know, I got this happening, and I love jujitsu, but I'm going 4 days a week, or I'm training 7-8 times a week, and it's my hobby that I'm doing this much, right?
That's
And
out of
then-
control for a
that's
hobby. If you're a
crazy.
hobbyist training 7 days a week, that's
Dude,
I-
well, 7 times. I wasn't training 7 days a week, but even as a hobbyist, I was doing 7
That's a lot.
classes. Yeah, I was doing 7 classes a week.
I get it. You know, it gets addictive, and you start getting sucked
Oh,
into it
yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah,
But that's when you kind of have to check yourself. Like, what outcome are you looking for?
right.
Right? Like, why? There's no need to train that much as a hobbyist or just a guy who's just doing it occasionally. I don't know. Unless you're trying to turn pro or something. That's reserve it for those guys. But that's why. You know, those are the outcomes that they want.
Yes,
The outcome that everybody wants is they want to be, you know, black belt skill in 6 months.
Right.
So they think that just training more and more and more it'll accelerate it. It will.
It will.
Right. Yeah, it'll definitely help you, but it's not. I don't know how sustainable it is for
it's
that long.
burning the candle at
Yeah.
both ends, right?
Yeah, I think we
and
did a-
and
we
we
did
mentioned
one.
that a long
Yeah.
time ago, burning the candle
Yeah.
at both ends. And yeah, you get good fast. Like your skill set will increase, right? But then you're taking way more like dings and dents throughout your body, and
Well,
you start to go, ow.
And
this is
it's
killing
weird
me."
if you think about it, right? So you're doing this to have fun. Excuse me, but when you're training, you know, 7, like you said, let's go 7-8 times a week.
Right.
It's not even really fun anymore. It's like
Nah.
it's more of a job almost. You're trying
like a
you're
job.
trying so hard to get to this level, and then if you ask yourself, well, why do I want to get so good at that level? Because when you're really
Right.
good at something, it becomes fun.
Uh-huh.
Right, so you're trying to do it for fun.
It's like
to have more
feeding
fun,
into
but you're
itself.
not having fun while you're doing it.
Right.
It's kind of like what's the story about the? It was so cool. You probably know this analogy about the old dude who's like he's a fisherman and he's like laying back fishing on the beach,
Right.
and he's got his little wife and his little cabin. And then the other guy, this American guy, comes up to him and goes, "Man, why don't you just instead of fishing, get another boat and you can hire another guy to increase your
Productivity,
your productivity,
right? Yeah.
right? And then you could buy a fleet of boats." And then then the guy keeps going, and then what? And then what? Well, then
Right.
you can get more. You can open a corporation. You can have stock, and then what? And then what? And then you can retire, and you can sit here on the beach and fish. He goes, "That's what I'm
That's
doing
what
now."
I'm doing right now. I'm already sitting on the beach and I'm fishing. I'm doing it already.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's a great point, right? It's like you build up something so big so that you can ultimately have something much smaller and much simpler.
Exactly.
Whereas you could just be like, I'm just going to do the simple thing from the beginning and do it much longer.
Yeah.
And that's where we get into this burnout, right?
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah, enjoy the journey.
I took that path. I took the path of like, I'm not in a super hurry. I'm just going to like, I was consistent. Like, my thing was, I trained like 3-4 days a week. But I never missed a freaking time, dude. I was always 3-4 days a week. Now, I will say when I was I want to say maybe brown. When I was a brown belt, I was training a lot, like 6 days.
Yeah.
A lot, because I was trying to get my black belt. Because that's at one point where I was so close. I'm like, I got to get this. I'm getting old.
Right.
Got to get my black belt.
See, but so what happened, you burned the candle normally. Then when you got to a point, you were like, let me light that other end.
Yeah.
Let me light that other end and get this going. But now you see it's starting to burn fast. And it's like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm burning out, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe I should chill a little bit. And this is obviously not a suggestion that you stop doing what you do. Like if you love it, and just go hard, right? Go hard. Go as hard as you can and still be, still be cognizant of how your life is going, right?
Well, before you go into that, I'm going to ask you this, Harold. How do you know you're even experiencing burnout?
I think you start to feel the burnout. Well, usually it'll come with an injury first. I think usually it'll be like, holy shit, I've been going so hard here and I got hurt.
Oh, so you're physically burned out.
Yeah, I'm talking like the physical because, but then you go, nah, man, I'm not quitting. I'm just going to tie my arm together to with an extra belt and I'm going back out there. I just won't fight with this arm. Damn, my leg. Well, that's all right. I don't need this leg. I'll figure it out. I'll use my one good leg and butterfly. My butterfly is going to get awesome on this side, right? And then that arm heals, and then you're like, all right, cool. Now the leg heals. Now you're shooting BP 157, and you're like healing stuff up, and you're doing everything to keep you going at this breakneck pace.
Well, that's not burnout.
But it's physically starting to chop you away because mentally now you go, damn, I'm hurt a lot, right? And I don't like this. I don't like being hurt, and now maybe I got to sit out, and it's like, oh man, now I got to take a couple more days off, or now I got to take weeks off because it's just like.
I think I was talking about like you just don't feel like going. I don't feel like
well,
that's the mental burnout.
Yes, and I think the mental burnout comes usually after some serious physical injuries. Like once you've been injured and you still just fight through it, then mentally you start going, do I need to go this hard? Do I need to go this often? Do I need to keep putting myself at risk this much because I'm not even taking breaks when I should take breaks?
Yeah.
And then you start, your head goes, I'm just going to take some breaks. And that's where now it starts to get dangerous, right? Because is that break just a day or two? Or you go, I'm going to take a week off. You know what? I'm going to take 2 weeks off.
That's a good question. So, like, what's the normal? I mean, because, like, there's guys that train, you might see them, 3 times a week. You won't see them again for a couple weeks.
Right.
But these guys are solid, and they're consistent players. Like, if you ask, let's say I ask Gus, hey, Gus, what's his name? Whatever.
Right.
Haven't seen him. Oh, he comes in. He's still training. He was here 2 weeks ago. So that's not considered a break.
I don't think that's a
training.
break or a burnout.
Yeah, he's just training.
I think that's just their training schedule.
Yeah, that's his schedule. So, but you're talking about a guy who's training like 3 days a week. Like, let's take me, for example. If I train consistently 3 days a week, every week, for the past 14 years.
Like, I will not miss a class. Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah. So, like, lately, I've been getting a little bit burnt out. Just right. I just don't feel like going sometimes when it's like, especially like when it's like the gi week. It's like, I don't really care.
Right.
Much. Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it before. It's like, it's just not something I really, I don't prefer. Definitely don't prefer the gi. So if I'm going to miss time, and I'm also pick a day where it's the sport that I don't like as much.
For sure.
I'm not going to miss a no gi day, but I'll miss a gi day, right? Because here's the thing too. But I'm getting older, so I need that recovery time. So sometimes it'll be like, God, I just don't. I want to go, but I'm just too sore.
Okay,
I just
and that
can't.
makes sense.
I don't feel like, and then I'll say, okay, but it's a gi week. I'm definitely not going to go.
Right. Then you give yourself. It makes
get it out,
sense.
basically,
You got an out. Right. And I think that can come just because you're like, it's not feeling like something that's calling me at this moment. It's starting to feel like something I have to do.
You're right. It's like an obligation.
Right.
That's what the whole gi thing starts. Like, bro, I'm not going to be obligated to do the freaking gi. I just don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. Right?
For sure.
But in general, the bigger picture, I'm not going to be obligated to train at all if I don't want to. I won't train. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to quit. Of course not. No. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to feel guilty about taking a week off.
There you go. Right.
Just take it off.
And look, hell, if you take that time off, I mean, you've taken a week off before and you came back
100%.
like gangbusters.
I feel way better, actually.
Right. It's like, and especially like with you, I mean, I think we've mentioned before, like you do like rebuilding cars and all kinds of other shit.
I have a
Like
lot of other
Yeah,
things I'm
you've
doing.
got other things that are actually like physically taxing
Yeah.
and mentally taxing. And when you say, okay, well, I've just been rebuilding this car all week, but then I still got to get to class, right? And you're already
hard.
dead tired,
It's hard
right?
to
You're
do,
already
yeah.
dead tired. It's like, shit, I just put a whole engine in, and now I
Yeah.
got to freaking and go do
Yeah.
omoplatas all day.
know.
And and I just got my shoulder hurt anyway, so now I'm doing omoplatas. My shoulder's feel a little weird because I've been pulling big ass engines out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to go do this. I get it, right? You kind of want to just go, let me take a beat. And then when you do take that beat, I think you come back stronger. I think
yeah.
you do come back stronger.
Like I noticed for me, like if I took a week off recently, and that next week I felt really good. I was really excited to be there because I hadn't been there in a week. I was like, man, I'm kind of missing it, even
Right.
after a week.
Yeah.
Because I really love jiu-jitsu. You know, like there is no denying that. But I noticed that I was hungry, man. Like I wanted to roll. I got some really good rolls in. Like both the Monday and the Wednesday, I was feeling really good. Now Friday I was getting a little bit tired again.
Right.
Just a
I'm about to
little
say,
sore.
it's kind of like,
It's just,
oh,
you know,
shit, it's
yeah,
hitting me
rolling
again.
hard for one, Monday and then a Wednesday. Oh, young guys will be like, "What's wrong with this guy? What's he talking about?" It's like I'm freaking old, dude. I'm in my 60s. That's why. Okay.
Okay. So I also will, I guess we got to point that out, right?
Yeah.
This might not really be something that somebody who's just like
A young cat.
young joker, just powerhouse, like especially somebody new to jiu-jitsu. If you're
Oh, yeah, yeah.
newer to jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
you're not burned out. You're not burned out. You're out there. You're like, hell yeah, let's go, balls to the wall. Let's make it happen. But probably like even those mid to late purple belts, especially if they're in purple belt purgatory, right?
Yeah.
If they've been sitting on it for a long time, they're like, man. And if you're an older guy who started, you started a little bit later, you might go, shit, man, this is taxing. This is kind of starting to get in the way of some other things.
But I also think too, it's the belt because like you have a goal when you're a purple belt or a brown belt or a blue belt
That's
or a white
true.
belt. Like I don't really have a goal. Like what's my goal to get? I want to get a stripe.
I
don't have any goals,
yeah.
right?
Your stripe comes with time at this
Yeah.
point. And then it's like, I guess at that higher belt, you really are like, you're doing it for the love of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I just love jiu-jitsu.
But the thing about love is it's not a static thing, right? Love has ebbs and flows, and it's highs and lows, and it changes, and it's like it's not something that is just a dedicated, you must do this every single day,
Yeah.
because if it becomes that, like I said, it's work then, right? So yeah, man, I get it. Like I don't think I'm burned out. Not right now.
No, you're not
right
burned
now.
out at
Not
all.
right now.
No,
Because
you have
I actually
goals
feel
right
like,
now.
yeah,
You're on
because
the
I got a
upward
new
tick.
set of goals, right?
Yes. And jiu-jitsu ties into those goals.
Yes. So for me, I think I'm on a resurgence
Yeah.
right now. Like I think I'm coming at it harder than
I agree.
than I have in a while.
100%.
I don't know that I was ever burned out, but like I said, I've drastically reduced the amount of jiu-jitsu I do because, but partially it was work and it was all these other things. And now it's been a few years with me doing less jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, it's still, like I said, at least 3 times, at least 3 classes.
3 times is decent.
Yeah, which is really freaking good.
Yeah.
But I remember 7, 8 classes a week. Like I remember that, and it was like, holy shit, dude! Like that's a hell of a dedicated.
Yeah.
That's a big
That's asking a
freaking
lot.
ask.
Yeah, that's a lot for anything.
Now I don't know that I would ever want to drop down to like one day. Like I would never. That would be weird.
One day, that's not very much at all. But
Right.
if that's all you could do, if that's all your schedule allowed,
For sure,
I would take that over nothing.
Hey, something over nothing, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, but
2 days is even okay. If you could only just train a couple days a week.
just to
I mean,
stay.
even if
into
you were a brand new white belt and you were training 2 days a week, you'd still would get a lot of benefit out of it.
Yes.
You'd start learning quite a bit,
absolutely,
believe it or not.
absolutely, yeah. Don't quit. I guess that's really the
Yeah.
right thing, right? Even if you start to feel like you are kind of like you're burning those candles at both ends, you're like, man, I need to just take a break. I would not suggest multiple weeks long breaks from
No, I
jiu-jitsu.
wouldn't do it.
You know what I mean? Because 2 weeks, it's too easy to turn to, let's give it
Yeah.
another week. And then the next thing you know, it's a month off, and you're like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what?
You don't want to fall in that trap.
Right.
But yeah, I would even argue, even if a guy started and did once a week,
Uh-huh.
he'd be pretty solid after a year.
Oh, absolutely.
He would. Bro, he would.
You're
Think
talking about
it.
like from off the couch
Off
to
the couch 1 day a week. Because think of this.
Absolutely.
Let's say you never, let's pick anything random, play the piano. Let's say
Okay.
you never played the piano, but
And you just
played
did it one day,
once a week with a
2
professional
hours,
instructor once a week for a couple hours in a year. You'd be good, dude.
You'll be
You'd be
playing
decent-
more than
you'd be
chopsticks. That's for
you'd
damn
be playing
sure.
some piano, bro. I guarantee it.
You would, absolutely.
Now, if you went 3 days a week, oh my God, you'd be.
It would just cut your time down.
It would cut it down.
drastically.
You'd get to that level a lot
Drastically.
quicker. Yeah. So, yeah, anything is going to be better than something's better than
Something's
nothing.
better
Shout
than
out to Randy.
Hell
Something's
yeah.
better than nothing.
Randy loves that. Okay, so I like where you came from with that little 1 week reset, but then how often do you think that would come, right? So what is it, 52 weeks, right? 52 weeks out of the year, boom, you're doing 3-4 days a week. Let's say you did that for a few months. You're starting to feel a little, this is taxing on me. I'm burning out. You take a week and then you come back and just
Should be good for a while.
stick with it again for
I think
another several months. Was that 1
Well,
week enough of a recharge?
I wouldn't say that there's a hard, fast rule. It just, if you're not feeling it up here mentally, then
Okay.
it's you might need more time. You might just need to step away. You know what I mean? I know that's the harsh truth, though. That's the now. There are other issues at play. Like for me, I'm coming at it from an older guy,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about like physical recovery. That takes longer. So for me, maybe taking that week off, week on, week off. That could be something. I'm exploring that right now. That might be something that might actually make me better because on those weeks that I'm there, I'm going to be way more involved, way more productive. Mentally, like I want to fight more.
Right.
It's just. I think it's a more productive, maybe I guess schedule for me, right?
Yeah.
Versus just forcing myself to go every week, 3 days a week, and I'm kind of like mentally just checked out. I don't even want to be there. I'm not going anymore when it's like that.
So this is also a really good reason to be as healthy as possible.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing, right?
You get injured and all that.
Yeah.
Such-
I mean, not just injury, but just overall health. Like, hell, man, it's better to do healthy habits than not if you're going to really want to sustain this. Because I think just not taking care of yourself will also contribute to that burnout faster. Because either you have to you're pushing yourself too hard, or you're not getting the results you want because you're just not physically up to it, and that's tiring too.
You know what I'm wondering if that's like we both train religiously like 3 days a week minimum.
At
right?
least.
That's okay. So I'm wondering how many people are doing that. I mean, there's a lot of hobbyists, so to speak,
Yeah.
that are still training. They're active and they come in, but you may not see them for a while. But you're still going to say like that guy's training on a regular basis, right? Just like I'll give you a good one. Like Giuseppe, we don't really see him all. He's not like Giuseppe's not there like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday.
But
He's not
in
there
a
all the time.
month, he'll
but
get
in
there
a,
5,
if you
6
said
times.
overall in a macro sense, does Giuseppe train regularly? Say, yeah, he trains all the time. Like
Yeah.
I saw him there last week. You know what I mean? Like he trained. You just don't know when he's going to show up. But he's there. No, he's there a lot
Yes,
though. You
you're
know,
right.
but he goes through stuff. But same with like Big Michael's the same way. He trains all the time. You might not see him for a week or two. Then he goes out. He trains a lot. So nobody would say, "Oh no, he doesn't train a lot." He trains all the time, man. So that
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a good
necessarily
point.
mean that you're not training just because you're not there these set days on these.
Right.
You know,
You're not there
set
Monday,
number-
Wednesday, Friday.
yeah, set
Monday,
number.
Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And I would argue this too. I've only seen Michael get better actually, and sometimes I won't see Michael for 3 weeks. He comes in, he's like mauling everybody.
Yeah.
And the same with Giuseppe. Like he came in, he was off for a while, right? Came back in, bro. He was like that was
See,
like
well, we need to get Mike on because here's a good question
know.
I have for him, because I would like to know, is that more of a new phenomenon? Like when he was coming up, was he doing 5-6 days a week? And now as he's hitting it, when he hit black belt, did it kind of
Taper
scale down, taper off a little bit?
I think he was. I'm trying to think when he was a brown belt. Was he? Maybe he was a little bit more consistent. But it's not hurting his game at all. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like he could be gone for weeks. He comes in and there's no like.
Right.
Oh my God!
There's
I can
nothing
tell he's
falling
rusted.
off.
Nothing. Yeah. So
there's no rust.
there's no benefit. So that's where it goes back to me. what's the benefit of me just forcing myself to go on those days if it's not like I'm not getting, especially if it's like a gi week, right? If it's gi and they're teaching moves that aren't like, I know I keep going back to gi.
I know.
Yeah, no, I hate gi.
I got it, dude.
But no, but see, I'm just using it as an example.
Yes.
Okay, if it's a gi week and they're teaching freaking loop chokes, and this is something I will never do with no gi, obviously as a rash guard.
Right.
So how is that helping me at all? And,
Yeah.
and like, is my game going to degrade because I missed that class?
No, it's not.
No, I actually think I'm getting better, bro. No, it's gonna sound weird, but they say, "Oh, do the gi, it makes your no." Bro, I think it's the opposite. I think it makes your gi worse. Your no gi game worse.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been doing gi at all for like 3 or 4 weeks now. No gi, period. I'm sorry, no gi is
Right. Yeah, I know. Without a gi.
gi.
Or you haven't been fighting in
the
a gi.
In a gi
for
at least a month.
weeks. Yes.
And my no-gi game has actually gotten way better, dude.
True.
Like, noticeably. Like I've picked up like 3 or 4 more like really cool like leg entanglement entries that like I just wasn't getting them because I'm juggling like this new, choke series over here with the lapels.
Right.
And I'm trying to do this over here.
You're keeping space in your brain.
Yeah,
You're
so now it's
letting
freed
yourself
up.
focus. Right.
I just deleted all that spam.
There's a oh
delete
my
spam
god.
folder, delete the gi,
Here-
delete.
Here's an old movie that nobody's going to remember. Before The Matrix, Keanu Reeves played in a movie called Johnny Mnemonic.
I remember that movie.
Remember
that was legit. Yeah, he had that thing in his brain.
Hell yeah.
That's a great. He was
And
kind
he
of like
would
a Neo.
erase some of his memories
Yes.
in order to make space for new
awesome.
shit. Because he was like a carrier. He was like a courier for like
Yes.
illegal stuff.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie, man.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic. So are you Johnny Mnemonic
No, I'm just saying,
yourself?
so-
you're getting rid of some of this gi knowledge
Yeah.
so you can replace it with more no gi knowledge.
But I mean, outside of taking away from me, though, I mean, so if there's a guy that
Yes.
let's just say someone like, we'll just use Michael again because
Okay.
he knows all these moves, right?
For sure.
It's not going to hurt him to not revisit a move that he probably knows anyway, and he can just take that time off, spend with his family, or do whatever the case may be, whatever it is he's doing, and maybe he wants to come in. I don't know what I don't know what's going on in his personal life,
100%.
but it doesn't seem to be affecting him in a negative way.
I don't think so.
Whatsoever.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
So what about this though, right? So when you do decide to pump the brakes a little bit, if you're kind of saying, I'm not going to do the gi class, I know you fall victim to this. You still show up, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to even get on the mat, but like it's the atmosphere. It's you still like seeing jiu-jitsu, right? Do you think it's better to really like completely unplug and go, hey man, I'm actually gonna sit home, I'm gonna kick my feet up, I'm gonna listen to some music or whatever, or I'm gonna read the newspaper. I don't know if people even read newspapers anymore, but I'm gonna do something totally different and non-jiu-jitsu related. Is that the way to go? Or do you go, well, I'm still going to go in? Because if you go in, you're still going to get up on the mat. You're still going to walk around. You're still going to help people while the class is going.
That's a great question, Harold. And I have an answer. No, I think it's situational. I think, okay, it's like this. Here's what I'm coming to this conclusion, because this is all trial and error, right? I'm just
Yeah.
going anecdotally. Okay, if you're injured, that's one thing. If you're injured and you're fired up, I think go in
still
there.
show in.
You show
Oh,
up, man.
okay, okay,
Now, don't roll.
okay.
Go in there in a sling and watch the moves.
Hell
Do
yeah.
what you can, stay involved. But if you've already kind of at your, wherever you need to be, you've been training for a long time, I think maybe unplug and just get away. I almost think it's like your work vacation. When you take a vacation, do you check your laptop? You're not really
There
on
you go.
vacation anymore, man.
That's true.
It's
You're
not
still
good for
working.
you. It's not. You're healthy. You're not really clearing your brain. You're not giving
Right.
yourself a chance to
You
really
didn't
get a
clear
rest.
the cash.
Clearing the cache. You got to get away from it and unplug. So for me, I've noticed that when I force myself to go in, and even though I'm not physically doing something, I'm there mentally.
Absolutely.
I don't get that feeling of refreshment. When I go in on that following Monday, I feel like I just did jiu-jitsu still. And I'm not hungry.
Yeah, you said something. You said taking that little piece of time away, you missed it.
I missed it, man.
Right.
Like, just taking that week off, I was like, damn, man, I kind of missed jiu-jitsu, bro. Now I'm a jiu-jitsu junkie because
Hell yeah.
a week is not a long time.
Not at all.
But for me, it's like that 1 week. It's like, damn, man, I kind of want to get in there.
Man. Okay. So everybody out there, give us your perspective, because you might not be someone who's ever experienced jiu-jitsu burnout, right? You might be like, what the hell are you guys even talking about? How could you possibly imagine your life without jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
And we're not. We're not imagining our life without jujitsu. We're talking about brief hiatus.
Yeah.
See, that's a good word. Man, I like big words. Hiatus is a good word. Anyway, a brief little pause from jujitsu. And it might only be a week. Hell, it might just be a couple of days. Like, it might just be whatever. If you have a regular schedule, maybe you interrupt that regularly scheduled program for a week. See how much you miss it. Come back with like this new vigor and you're re-energized and you're ready to rock and roll. Have you experienced that? Have you tried that? Or are you just like, hell no, I'm never stopping jujitsu. I'm gonna freaking ride this thing until the wheels fall off.
Well, too, I would argue that if you either are this guy or you're not. Like if you're in it to like purple belt, it's in your blood, dude. At that point, it's kind of in you, right? Even blue belt, you're kind of like if deep blue belt. You know the guys that are training like we're talking about. They're consistently there like 3 days. Bro, you can say whatever. You can say I'm burned out. I quit jiu-jitsu. You'll be back. You'll be back. Those mats own you, dude. They got a little piece of you that you will be back. I guarantee it.
It's in your DNA at that point.
I could say, oh man, Harold, I'm so done with everything. I'm quit, bro. What, a month ago by, I'll be back. Harold, where's the next class?
Yeah,
where's the gi? Give me a gi. I want to put the gi on. Well, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I can't.
Guaranteed.
Like I said, like for you, I can't imagine you not doing jiu-jitsu.
No, I can't either.
For
Like
me,
even
I can't imagine not doing jiu-jitsu.
I can imagine getting to the point where I was saying, oh, I'm not going to train for a long time, but then I'd be back in a couple weeks.
Right, right.
It's just me saying that emotionally right now, but like I said.
Yeah. Like, or here's another question for you guys out there. Even if it's not so much that you've experienced burnout, maybe you haven't because you do something. Maybe you're consciously doing something to make sure you don't burn out. Share that with us.
Yeah.
Let us know because I'd be interested. Put that in the comments. Say, hey, look, I don't burn out. I've been doing it for 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years because I did this. That way I never burned out. If you have a secret and you're willing to share it, right? I mean, oh, and also, since we're talking about sharing that, like, subscribe, and share this podcast too, because we've been getting some people kind of checking us out. I like it.
Yeah,
we appreciate that, everybody, big time. So yeah, if you've got the answer, share it with us, man. Share it with us because look, my ego's not so big that I can't learn from everybody. And if you've got something that I could apply to my life and my jiu-jitsu and make sure I don't burn out, hell yeah, I want that.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to really try to find ways to not burn out, right? Because the things that you like, like you like guns a lot.
I do.
You are a gun hobby guy. You really enjoy guns.
I do enjoy the occasional pew, pew, pew.
So you don't have to talk yourself into, oh my God, I gotta like these guns. I gotta like.
Right.
You just like them, bro. Like that. I can't imagine like Harold not having a freaking gun of some kind, right? It's just a hobby that you're involved in.
Yeah,
you like
for
them,
sure.
You like shooting and all that, right? So sometimes I don't hear you talking about them. It might be a long time, but you still got them, right? And you're still going to go shooting every now and then.
They're still there.
You don't have to convince yourself that you like them, right? That just
definitely not.
It's like me with cars.
You're
like, like I'll take a break from them, but I still have those cars. I still go back there and mess around with them.
Okay, so it's not so much that I would ever have to convince myself that I still love jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's just there.
I think it's there.
I guess I'm thinking just like, has anyone done something just to make sure? I guess not that they even overdo it, just that you don't want to move away from it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to move away from it. I don't know. Yeah, why would you ever want to leave jiu-jitsu? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like I wonder, like how many people just quit working out. People that are serious fitness people that hit the gym, a couple, 2-3 days a week. Like how many of those people, and have developed a little bit of a physique, right? Let's say you're a workout guy and you've developed a physique, so you've seen the fruits of your labor.
And
how many of those guys? I'm just gonna
quit
quit working out. Ugh. Like I don't think that's gonna happen, dude. You're gonna be a workout guy forever. Now I'm not saying the guy that went to the gym, his little high school gym,
You're talking about somebody who got a program and dedication
they got some results. They got little jacks. They look at the guy. Oh, that guy works out.
Yeah,
right?
They're slinging some weight around.
He's got a physique. That guy's not gonna just quit. Unless he gets injured. But more than likely, he's going to skip the gym.
Yeah, but see, and that's why, for me, I was just thinking, I think part of it almost has to come from some series of injuries or recovery from injuries. But I could be wrong, man. I might be way the hell
No,
off.
you're not. I don't think you're wrong. No, I think
Yeah?
you could get tired of getting injured. You know, because at some point, if you're like, let's say you blow your knee out,
Ugh.
you heal, you blow it out again, then you blow your elbow. You might, dude, forget this. I'm done with this. I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. But even that guy, you might see him back in the future.
Right?
You know, yeah, I quit before because I used to get injured all the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm back. I'm gonna try. I've seen people.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
about to say we have guys
We have
who
those
took
guys.
2 years off and now
Yeah.
they're back. Hell, we took even longer than that. They go, oh yeah, man, I was going for a while.
I don't think he ever quit. Even
How
the
about
guy,
that?
even the guy that the guy we talked about, Randy.
Okay,
Was
you
Randy was talking
never
about
quit.
the young cat
Right?
that was super talented?
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about? The
Yeah,
really
yeah,
talented guy.
100%.
They quit.
So you don't think
I wouldn't be surprised.
he hasn't quit?
He hasn't. He's just
taking
temporarily taking a
wait.
long break,
A long hiatus.
a long hiatus. I wouldn't be
I can
surprised
feel
if
you
we
on that.
see that guy. He might be a different person. He might be 5 years from now. He'll be like an older guy now. He comes in. Oh yeah, I used to train when I was like a teenager.
Right? He's going to come
I
back
was really-
married. He's got his
Yeah.
first kid.
and he'll
he's
be like, "Holy
yeah,
crap, this
man."
guy's pretty good." It's like he won't know
He's got to knock the rust off.
how good this guy really was.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I like that too, right? I like that too. You know what? No one ever quits jujitsu.
Don't quit, dude. The mats get a hold of you.
Yeah. You didn't quit. You're just taking a break.
Yeah.
I guess the only way you could actually say you quit is if you stopped doing jujitsu and then you died. Then I guess we got to say, yeah, he quit.
Or could you say, let me ask this, could you quit for a certain amount of time that qualifies as a quit? Like if you quit for a decade, you can say, I quit and then I came back. So you'd legitimately quit. Like how much is that time frame before
I don't
you
know.
actually legitimately call it a quit?
I don't know. So now you've almost convinced me that there's no such thing as quitting
No.
jujitsu.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know that you can quit. I think you're just not doing it at the moment. Damn. Doesn't that sound better? That sounds better
Yeah.
than being a quitter anyway, right? Yeah. Don't ever quit jujitsu. In fact, you can't quit jujitsu. How about that, right? What's
That's
that
really old.
freaking? Oh my God. I wish I knew how to quit you. Well, you don't. You can't quit jujitsu. It's like the mafia. You're in like blood in, blood out, all that good stuff. You're in it forever. You're stuck with jujitsu.
Now
Or
you
better yet,
can't leave.
jujitsu's stuck with you.
Now you just can't leave.
Now you can't leave. That's a good movie
That was a
too.
great movie.
Dude, we got a lot of movie references today. So yeah. Hey, jujitsu. Now you can't leave.
I think we ended on that one. That's great.
That's good. All right. Look, everybody. We don't know, man. We don't have an answer for this one. Just freaking don't quit. Let this shit be important to you, man. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. But hell, now I'm realizing that even if you find an excuse, as long as you get your ass back on the mat, you didn't quit.
I would say so. Yeah, my final thoughts would be like, don't be afraid to take a little bit of a break. Maybe try the the work vacation method, right?
I like
Just
that.
unplug completely for a week, and then you probably will try to miss it more, and then you'll come back.
Oh my
Versus
God.
like trying to force yourself to go in. If you have to force it, then I think something's not.
That's where you're starting to feel burnt
Yeah.
out. If it's feeling like a job,
Yeah.
you're burning out, right?
Remember, we used to always say that. Like
we
when this
did.
feels
Yeah,
like a
if
job,
it feels like a
I'll
job, I'll quit.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing I
You
won't
can't
even quit.
You'll quit temporarily.
Ah, I'm just going to take a break. Huh.
We're just going circuitously.
It's just over
back to
and
where we
over
started.
and over and over. Holy crap. All right, everybody. That's all we got, man. So I already said like, subscribe, and share. So make sure you do that. Comment. Tell us your thoughts on that. Tell us, do you know anybody who really quit? And I think the only way they quit is they quit and then they died.
Man.
Because there's still the chance they'll come back, man. There's still the chance
That's
you'll come
true.
back.
I'll be back. I would say I'll see you next week, but it's Geek Week, so I ain't gonna see none of you fools.
All
I'll see
right.
y'all the week after next.
And with that, thank you guys for checking us out. Come see us again on Open Back Chronicles.
Keep training.
Us.